friends. Today I've got a fun little Whisper Ramble for you today. Kind of just brainstorming, thinking out loud, some ideas for my other channel that I have where I talk about productivity things for creative people. And if that sounds interesting to you, stick around and I will spout a bunch of ideas that I may or may not make next month. So, question of the day for you. Do you watch YouTube Shorts? Like, do you specifically go click on the Shorts thing and watch those? And if so, have you found any new creators you really like from it? I'm thinking about trying to do some Shorts, mostly for my other channel, the channel where I'm going to be doing productivity, creativity, kind of, that kind of stuff. Productivity advice for creatives, basically. And so I've been thinking about doing some shorts for that because I don't really know what that channel is yet, and it only has like 70 subscribers. So if you want to go subscribe to it, there's a link down below. That would be very lovely, but only if you're going to watch the videos, only if that sounds interesting to you. Because it doesn't help me if you just go subscribe and then don't ever watch anything. I feel like that actually hurts you more. So, but if you're feeling froggy, take a leap. But yeah, so I made some tutorials for that channel, and then it just kind of fell off on it because I was doing them weekly, and I was like, hey, this is pretty good, and some of them got some decent views, considering the size of the channel. And so I was like, okay, I gotta do something, because I'm really kind of committed to this idea of spending more time making content, both content that I would want to watch, and what I want to watch right now more than anything is very short content that teaches you something, or that provides informational value in a quick, succinct, somewhat entertaining way. So there's one guy I like right now. His name's Ali Abdal, I think is how you pronounce it. And he's got a channel that's got, but he only has a couple shorts. And so I'm like, okay, I feel like there's a gap in this space, because all the big productivity people, they don't have the shorts. They make them for YouTube and stuff, but they're mostly trailers for their videos. And I'm like, what if I took a concept and just here it is in a minute, so I'm trying to think of some examples I've thought of for that series. I'm just starting to formulate that, are fitness for filmmakers. I think could be interesting. So you think about gimbal operators. If you don't know, a gimbal is it's a tool that holds the camera and kind of corrects for instabilities. So it creates very floaty, kind of smooth flying looking shots. The problem is you're holding it with one hand. It gets kind of heavy if you do it all day. And so that's not something that the gym really prepares you for. There's not a lot of traditional strength training things that would prepare you for that. And so there is things like heavy clubs, but a lot of people aren't turned on to that. And so I'm like, okay, what if I made a video about, it's 1 minute, hey, are you a gimbal operator? Do you get tired of holding the gimbal all day? Here's some fitness, here's some things you could do, pop, 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 get one of these things, learn how to do inside circles, learn how to do outside circles, learn how to do shield casts, and that's really kind of it. And if you could work your way up weight-wise from a 5-pound to a 10-pound to a 15-pound, very few camera rigs are going to be 15 pounds. If you could be doing a good amount of swings with a 15-pound club, you're probably set. You probably won't feel too much pain. And as a bonus, you'll be working a lot of core work, rotational work, so your back won't hurt as much. Heavy clubs are awesome. You should look into them. So that's one idea. Another idea I've thought about is homework assignments for filmmakers, photographers. because I feel like a lot of people are getting started. They get a camera and they're like, I like doing this, but like they don't know what to shoot. It's a good thing. Like you go, you take your snapshots, and there's not a lot of intentionality to it. And then worse, if you don't have something to photograph or film, if you don't have a lot of friends, or your friends are like, yeah, I don't really want to be like a model or an actress, it could be a little intimidating to like go out and try to network and find models, especially if you don't have money to pay them and you're just kind of trading your time for their time. That's a common thing called TFP, time for portfolios, where the model would come and you would photograph them and you would provide them photos. You both get photos for your portfolio. Everybody wins. Problem is, a lot of models are flaky, especially if they're not getting paid. And so it can be difficult, like especially if you don't have a portfolio and you're just some random person who's like, hey, let me take pictures of you, which, in and of itself is like kind of a weird proposition to ask a random stranger on the internet. So, thinking like, okay, what's a homework assignment you could do? Like, here's something you could do for the next week. Is like, even just with camera phone, you could focus on wherever you're at. Anytime you go someplace, look for reflections and think about how could you use that reflection to get an interesting photograph. And then I would show like a couple photos of mine that have reflections and like and be like, oh, there you go. Like, go out, find some reflections, go execute. And then you can also think about things like shadows, thinking about like, if you walk into a room, like where is the light coming from? And say, how would you recreate that light? So like if you walk into a room with like big old windows and it's, morning, but the sun's on the other side of the building, and so it's indirect light coming through. It's like, how could you recreate that look? That's just a thought experiment, So that's one. And then even down to just like getting your camera and going out and like asking strangers if you could take their picture, which is it's a valuable skill. If you ever do event work or marketing work, like there's gonna be a lot of times where you have to just grab people and be like, hey, let me get a photo of you, and you direct them a little bit. And I think if you can learn to take in that that ice breaking of talking to strangers and photographing them quickly and trying to get something wherever you're at, I think that's a very valuable skill too. Just having that confidence, I think, it's a confidence builder. I'm trying to think of what else would be good. Looking for patterns, repetitions, shapes, colors. So you could do like interesting compositions with red triangles. That could be something. And then on the film side of things, there's stuff like there's a filmmaking exercise called a 5x5, where you take 5 shots and you do each shot is 5 seconds and it tells a story. So you look at like 5-act structure. Essentially, it's this one. There was one on YouTube a while back that was pretty good called the Boring Room Challenge, where you find the most boring room you have access to and you make something out of it. Then I think what another fun one could be would be like a recreational, like recreating a lighting look without the thing you're trying to recreate. So like an easy example would be like a TV, like make a TV look, on a subject, or like a car passing in the street. How could you do that? Make something like that. Just a short little thing. Daylight coming through the blinds. There's a lot of things. There's one I like that's a video exercise, video/ film, but it's also a photography exercise, is to look for rooms, places you have access to, and photograph it at 4 different times of day. In the morning, like midday, later afternoon, and then nighttime. And just like, what does that room look like at those different times? Like, where's the lighting coming from? And to sort of get a sense for what a realistic room looks like at different times of day. So you can learn kind of how to motivate your lighting to look authentic. Because in a film set, you can't just have, like, this light looks, it looks fake, because it is. Like, there's no blue light normally, and there's a different light in the lamp. So, but like, if I just had the light how I normally have it, where I just have the lamp on and nothing else, it wouldn't look like this. And so the question is, like, how can you make it look like it's just coming from the lamp? And it's like, okay, well, first step would be you turn this off. And now, obviously, like, okay, so we need to bring in, you see this red that's hitting me. How can we bring that back? So we turn this guy back on, and then let's dial him. So dial up the warmth, dial down the cold. And it's off camera. And now this is closer, but we would want to diffuse this so it softens it. Like that looks a little better already. And then let's get it out of frame. Like that. That would be how you would make a... it's not perfect, but I got this light in my hand. I don't even have a light stand, and I don't have anything to really bounce it into except the blinds. But this looks kind of like I kind of like how this looks. I'm just gonna leave it like this for the rest of the episode. I'm gonna start calling these episodes. These aren't videos. These are episodes. So yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I could do to have those shorts, and like, if I could write 30 days, how many days are in July? 30 or 31? I'm not exactly sure. Let's check. There are 31 days in July. Sorry. So it's like, how can I make a video a day for that? And like, what will happen to that YouTube channel? Like, it's got 70 subscribers now. Will it do well? Will it just be some videos that kind of do okay? I feel like 31 days really isn't enough time on the consistency factor. But it's like, if just one of those 31 like does pretty well, I could see that building in a couple subscribers. And so you just think of that mentality of like, okay, so 31 a month might not be sustainable. Like, some people do that. That's what they do. But if you made 10, one every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever, how would that impact the growth of your channel? So, some things to think about. And then also just trying to get more content into that channel, trying to get more lines in the water. There's a YouTuber guy I got that phrase from, and I was like, I like that phrase. And he talks about just like, you just gotta make the videos when the channel is starting, and you get the lines in the water, you try to catch as many fish as you can. And I'm like, that's good, because I've been spending way too long overthinking that channel, and I just need to go through and make some stuff. So that's kind of what July's looking into. Because I think like 31 days, a minute video is not that hard in the abstract. I've spent, there's sometimes when I've spent 20, 30 hours making a 1 minute video, but it's like, if I can keep it, the thought process is like sustainability, make a video a day, and then pre-script them, pre-shoot some of it, make it good. Could that turn into something? I'm not sure. So it's kind of where my brain's at right now, because I'm having a lot of bad times in the personal life department. Just feeling like really depressed and like like anxious about how the economy's going. You know, the gas prices are like through the roof, and it's just like it's stressing me out a lot. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm like, I gotta do something. And the thing I like about most about YouTube is like I dictate the pace. And so it's like if the phone's not ringing, I know I have something I could do. And it's like just having the action, just having something to do that could potentially pay off. It alleviates a lot of that. And so that's kind of the message I want to leave you with today, is if you are having hard times, if things are going poorly for you, think about, you know, what is something that you could manifest, that you could force yourself to do every day, to make things it's the tiniest bit better. You know, if that's setting a timer and going out for a walk, even if that's 5 minutes, and going outside, walking for 5 minutes, timer goes off, you go back home. That's 5 minutes of just putting things back into order, you know, trash, dishes, putting books where they belong, putting clothes where they belong, doing laundry, that kind of stuff. You know, just a little bit. And then over a month, you look back at like all the stuff you accomplished and how much better your life is by just the little thing you did every day. And then also just that momentum of like, because there's an author, I think it's Brad Stolberg, who says that, what does he say? It's like, I want to butcher it, but basically it's like motivation follows action. Like, you don't often get motivated to act. You act and then the motivation comes. And so it's the discipline of doing something, anything, however you have to trick your brain to be like, fuck you, we're gonna go do this for a minute, you know, to make it not scary to your brain, to make it be like, it's not gonna be hard, like, let's go. Then I think you can, more often than not, your brain will be like, this wasn't so bad, let's do a couple more minutes, let's do a couple more things into place. And I think you'll be better off for that effort. And I think mentally, hopefully, that will come around for you. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you're doing well. And if not, well, I hope that turns around for you real soon. And let's figure out a way to manifest that change that we want. And let's I don't know. Let's climb out of the fucking rubble. You know, there's a song I like. Guys, the name of the song is Pretty Low. I think the band is called Expire. But the last words are, when the shit keeps piling up, get a shovel. So that's where I'm at. And time to do some digging.